Y'all give it up for Chance the Rapper one time. Yeah, man. It's the Ebro Show. We live, man. We doing the LA thing. Chance and I been trying to get on the same schedule for months since the album dropped, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you steady calling me too, because
listen,
you're a real friend.
No, so we became friends, but first and foremost, you're important.
Thanks, man.
So I'm calling because you're important, and then we just happen to like each other.
Facts.
So you know what I mean? It don't always be like that. You know, people like you be like, yo, I like your shit, but I ain't doing all that shit. But yo, because I am a queen.
Video by NDRE. Yeah.
How did it go to get that clear? Because she owns that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I had been connected with her on IG, just on some random we both follow each other type stuff for a long time.
Of course you do.
When I reached out to her about it, she was like, okay, I want to hear it. I want to hear the song first. I'm guessing it's about weed. And when I, told her some of the deeper parts of the, of the intentionality behind the song, she got she just became very supportive. She connected me with her, with one of her close friends and a creative director, who was working on us doing another collaboration. And we found out that we all have this connection shared through Pilot Mountain, which is part of what the song is dedicated to, my family's history in North Carolina.
Wow. Okay.
Dealing with agriculture as sharecroppers and this, we all had this shared history, and it was just another reminder that this stuff be divine, the experiences that we have and the connections that we share. Like I said, I knew her on some IG stuff, but it ended up being we had a way tighter connection, and she put me right through. She could have said no, she could have upped the bag on me, she could have did anything, and she was like, go sing this song. This is an important song.
That's dope. You talk about connection, and throughout the years of me just having conversations with you, your connection to your family is always in the music, right? Your family is obviously your brother, and I know your dad. I met your mom and your children, the whole thing. Family's such a big deal. But I learned you told me about just how much you and your family are connected to your elders and ancestrally as Black Americans, and that you guys still are very, very, very much attached to your origin story here in the United States of America.
Yeah. I mean, I found out that that's a Black thing just last year. Last year, somebody told me that I could be wrong. I could get baked in the comments, but I heard that white people don't really be having family reunions. Have y'all ever heard that? That's a crazy thing. I don't mean to just put that out there. Maybe that's not real.
But now that you say it, we see the family reunion with the T-shirt at the airport and all the things. So maybe we're more
somebody told me
celebrate it more.
Somebody told me that family reunions is birthed out of the fact that so many Black folks post slavery were split up around the nation, and so it became a thing just 3 generations ago or 4 generations ago that people started having family reunions, and it became popular for Black folks to go to the rural South or whatever part of where your family is from. So I've been doing family reunions since I was a kid. So I know all this history. We have our family reunion every year. I'll go to church on the last day, and they read through this lineage and stuff. I don't have it as much on my dad's side, but on my mom's side, I know a lot of I got a lot of cousins.
This album obviously is about connectivity, right? Starline and what that means, right? 100%. Reconnecting with Africa and everything. The festival, all that, Marcus Garvey, the whole thing. It's all about connecting. It's all about that, right?
Yeah.
And once again, that's why I want to reiterate. That's why I feel like you're important, because you've gone to the highest heights of entertainment. You've played around in the Disney spaces. You've had the hits, the Grammys. You've done all that shit at only 32 years old. But you continue to put on for Black culture, and even more specifically for hip hop, right? And so I just feel like, I told you when we was going to sit down and have this interview, I feel like that level of importance isn't celebrated about you enough. Do you feel like, that's just the work you want to do, but do you feel like people are recognizing you for the work you want to do?
I was just thinking about this yesterday. It goes back and forth, and it's been like that since I was a kid, in terms of truly feeling humble and just being able to operate. I don't need no extra nothing, because it's not my reason behind doing any of the things I do. I feel like it's the right thing to do, and somebody's got to do it. That's how I be feeling when I do stuff. So sometimes I'm just humble enough to be I don't care. But then there's some days where I just be
nah, fuck that. I'm doing this shit, bro.
I need a
motherfucking
pat on the back. But it's at the end of the day, it's regardless, the thing that matters is execution and being able to say that something is done and published, whether it's music or a program that you want to start or any initiative, anything. Like, you got to just like do it. And then once it's done, it becomes historic because it's going to be recorded somewhere, and it's going to have, you know, effects on people. And so I feel like I think I do get a lot of love. I got a fucking humanitarian award when I was like 23, probably like undeserving. Yeah. So like I've been over celebrated and been like, you know, and because I live in Chicago, which is where most of my programming is, like I get love every day from strangers and stuff who, you know, their kids are in our programming or like, you know, they feel a certain way. So it's like, I feel the love and I'm grateful for what I got today. That's but tomorrow I could be pacing in the crib like, these niggas got me fucked up.
I'm going to get back into this album. Do you have a favorite song today? I know we're going to get a performance from you later on. We got 3 joints you're going to do for us live. And you know, Chance and I was talking a lot about, you know, what he does as a performance, and he cut a deal with me today to do a lo-fi situation because I really want y'all to hear the lyrics. Like I feel like as an old head in the game, I hear a lot of people talking about what it is and what it ain't and what's going on. And as a cat that came up at a time where you had a KRS and you had a Dead Prez and you had a Black Star and you had, you know what I mean? You have a Common and you have all of this very much layered, knowledgeable, yet fire hip hop. Yeah. Like we still have it in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad to like be, you know, considered a part of that lineage. Like, I am obviously super, like, influenced by Common, by Mohsen Kweli, by
Kanye,
KRS,
even,
the teacher,
Kanye,
everybody. Like I grew up at a time where music was just rich with content as well as lyrical ability, which are 2 different things. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think what I wanted to do with this project was like have, like with all of my projects, have content or, you know, a thesis that I'm a really like press into, but then also like take the time to like make something artistic. Like as rappers, I've been saying this a lot lately, like as rappers, we're musicians, we're artists, we make music, but our specific craft is words. Like that is our instrument. That's what we're supposed to, you know, be clever with and be productive with. And it's like the beat could be raw. We could find a good producer. We could get a good stylist. We can make a nice video. We could get a good deal. All that shit is cool. But like at the end of the day, your words is what's going to matter on paper. You know what I'm saying? And so like, I feel like I wanted to, you know what I'm saying, do both. And I feel like the content is true to hip hop's essence, like what it's meant to be. And it's vital right now. As you can see, this shit getting crazier every day.
Yeah.
But also within the craft and respecting what it means to be a wordsmith, I think it's there too.
Drapetomania. Is that how you even say that word? Am I saying it right?
Drapetomania. Yeah. It's a fake word, so we can say it however we want to.
Okay,
fuck
fact.
the nigga that made it up.
It is a racist, fucking stupid, psychoanalytical word that... Do you feel like people ran their Googles when you put it on there?
Yeah, I seen a lot of discourse about the title, and I love that. Like, so yes, for people that don't know, Drapetomania is... it's like a made up
psycho analytical.
It's a pseudo-scientific term. It's a fake term that they invented to ascribe to slaves that continue to run away or show disobedience.
So basically they were saying if a slave ran away, they must be crazy.
Yeah. It was you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, these crackers is crazy.
So
bro.
it's just but that's like it's a one example of like medical or scientific racism and mislabeling people and dehumanizing people. And so the song is like, the song is lit, the song is fun, but it's also like a lot in there, like that's just within the spirit of rebellion or in the spirit of rage or, you know what I'm saying? Going back to, like we said, the principles of hip hop, fuck the police.
That's right.
And fuck ICE and fuck Homeland Security and fuck like any militarized police force that's against the American citizens or the people at large, period. And so it's like making a song that exudes rage, that's hip hop to its core. And I feel like it's done in a way that makes people curious about like, why is it named this? Why is he saying words like this? Why is he mentioning Tupac? What are these people's histories?
Well, and you brought the young boy on it.
Yeah. Shout out to Baby Chief.
Yeah, what's the significance? He's Chicago for sure.
I mean, he's a genius. Like, he's a super, super smart dude. And he's extremely young, but like the way that he moves in the industry, the way that like he crafts his lyrics, everything's super intentional. And he's got it right now. He's one of the hottest artists out.
Yep.
And so, you know, I connected to him through some of my young guys, and everything that he says on it is still within the spirit of like, you know, still being funny. You know what I'm saying? Like the lyrics are still funny.
We was just talking about him the other day, and I was like, I hear what this kid is doing off top.
Hip hop is supposed to be funny, right? Like it's got to have some, what do they call it? Levity. It's got to have some like brief moments of humor.
That's right.
And so
that's what punchlining is all about.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's gotta have that. But then it's also got to have serious moments, and I think like everything he says on it is a little bit radical. I love when he says, "Free all the guys and free all the ops.
Yeah,
fuck all the pigs, kill all the rats." Like if you take the time to look at how on that totem pole of who he fucks with the least to worst, like free the ops. You know what I'm saying? That's prison abolition, first of all. You know what I'm saying? Fuck the pigs is fuck the state, but it's still leaving them humanity. The only person they said kill is the rats. And that's an idea of like not picking a side, of being, you know, operating against your people. And so it's just like he has a way of like with words, and he's very young. So I think he's just going to continue going up. But I was blessed by him being on the track. And it's just like, it's young Chicago. Like there's like so many, shout out to Star Bands. Yeah. Shout out to everybody out of Chicago that's just like going up right now.
What's your favorite bar on that?
It goes Tiffany chain in the blue box, 401k in the shoebox. My favorite rapper named Tupac. I love Tupac because he shot 2 cops. Bah, bah. I got a 9mm called Thug Life. I got a new chain that say, fuck ice. That's my favorite part. I love saying that.
You think people catch all the layers? I got a new chain, says fuck ice. Mm-hmm. And people be bragging about their ice.
Yeah.
And your chain say fuck ice, but it got ice in it.
Yeah.
You think they catching all that?
I don't know. I think that's the best part about like, like something that you should be able to sit with for a while and like get new stuff from it. You know what's weird? I get new stuff from my music because I wrote it over a 6-year period. I forget, like at a certain point you listen to something so many times that it just becomes words. You know what I mean? And like after the album was like out, then I could be like, all right, I'm finna just drive to it and listen to these masters and listen to it as one project. And then over time I'm like, oh, I did say this. Oh, I did say this. Like it's a lot in this joint. And I think that's like, that's a testament to what this project is going to be. I think this is my classic album. And I think
I like that you said that.
Over time, like it may take however long, but I think something I was thinking about the other day is like some of the great artists, like the great authors, because I think that's how we're going to be looked at in the future as opposed to just rappers or entertainers or musicians. It's like,
y'all wrote some shit.
We were the ones that had to make our, like, remember the term singer-songwriter? Like that was birthed because so many vocalists were just singers. And then it became like, oh, this person not only sings it, but they make it. That's hip hop. Like hip hop, you gotta make it. You gotta make everything. You gotta come up with your style. You gotta come up with how your videos look. You gotta come up with your whole aesthetic. And
hip hop is that DIY, man. Yeah, off the rip. You was coming out of the hood. You had to have your shit together. No, you had to figure it out.
But I think like in the future, they're gonna look at us as authors. And I think of some of the great authors of like the past, they died like broke and nameless. And it wasn't until way, way, way later that like people found out, you know, oh, this person was the great playwright of their time or the great poet of their time or the great artist. Like we just had to find their works later. And I think like great art might be like that. Like we can't even guess if we've seen the best movie because everybody can make a movie now and everybody doesn't necessarily get to see everything that gets made. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I'm blessed to be able to just say like a lot of people heard Starline, but everybody that's gonna hear it hasn't heard it yet.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why every day we out here getting more people to hear it.
On the getting more people to hear, and I was just thinking about what you were saying about authors and people discovering works that they missed or this was important in its time type of thing. Some of that shit is tied to marketing too. Right, because then
100%.
The system, the machine,
the man,
yeah, pushes something to the forefront. Yeah. Today's forefront is the algorithm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I've been telling I've been running around all the time talking shit. You know how I do. And so I've been arguing with people about their music tastes a lot lately because I feel when I ask people about music, they tell me about trends.
Yeah.
When I ask people about music, they tell me about who's got motion. But you're not telling me about the song or anything with the music. You're telling me about marketing.
100%.
You understand what I'm saying? So, and I wanted to ask you because the last album, right? You drop it. I'm happy for you. You're married. You family. You're doing all this. Is beautiful. Yeah. Black love. You know what I'm saying? I'm into it. And then people are like, nah, boo. I don't like it. Looking back, do you agree with those people?
No. What?
Well, because sometimes artists look back on their work and they're like, nah, I was off a little bit. I missed this. I missed that.
For one, I think of my art as I think of it on a qualitative basis, like this is good typically. Like I don't ever make anything that I'm like, oh, this is just all right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I usually love the things that I make, but also like I think of it as an important documentation of life. Like I think it's a really key thing to record the things that I go through and put them into my music. Like if I don't, there's literally nobody else that can, you know?
So on that note, at the time when people was like, yo, I ain't fuck with this. I've been fucking with him since acid rap and this ain't it. I was like, what do you don't like? He's barring it up. There's great songs on here. I don't understand what y'all don't like. So was that a social media algorithmic narrative? Or was that a real thing? And have you met people that have articulated their disdain for that project, or these people don't exist in real life? What is it?
I never wanted to say that because I feel like eventually the public, like I'm glad everything just kind of works out in time. Right. Like I think the Kendrick and Drake beef was the first time that the general public started to have real discussions about paid media and botting, and not just botting views, but botting what's called negative or positive sentiment. So it's like paid bots that like pretend to be social profiles and add to discussion.
And even positive sentiment.
Yeah, positive sentiment is a thing too.
Yeah.
So like and brands use it, artists, labels, everybody that has capital to use it uses this. And at that time, I didn't know shit about that because I really, really am independent and just make songs and put them out and hope that people like them. So as I learned more about this stuff over the years, like I had moments where I felt like, you know, I started to understand the whole thing more. But like, I don't even really try and pay it too much mind because of the fact that the people that have come up to me in real life have like tattooed lyrics from the album on their body and shit. So it's like, I get to, there was a point where it definitely was confusing to me and had me, you know, like I've said before, like I took a hit to my confidence in terms of like what I was creating. Yeah. But like soon after that, I started to find a lot of like love in some of the other spaces that I think helped craft this album, like learning a lot more about film and specifically cinematography. Taught me a lot about contextualizing and creating an aesthetic. And then working with visual artists taught me a lot about, you know, in the same vein, context, what canvas to use, how big to make a painting, where to show it, like, and then obviously being around writers and like Aj Monet and Vic and just people that I grew up with that are in the craft. And I mean, when I say writers, I mean specifically poets that made me just think about, okay, what is the reason why I do it? What makes something dope to me? Because typically the things that I find dope, masses and millions of people also find dope. And how do I put that into the music and show my experience, which is the same thing I did for The Big Day and the same thing I did for Coloring Book, same thing I did for Acid Rap. I just did it again, but I'm just older and better at rapping.
Yeah. Back to the star line. We're getting a performance. We're getting 3 songs from Chance. Appreciate you for that. What you want to get into off the album? I want to get into that. I mean, this was technically, you told me, was the first single, but it came out so kind of disconnected. You want to get into that joint with Joey Badass, The Highs and Lows.
This is the joint, yo. Like, this one of my records. Like, where
I thought now that you recalled it for me, I thought you was really about to drop an album when this came through.
Everybody thought I was gonna drop an album every year since the big day came out.
What was the hiatus? Hold up, however you want to frame it.
And be honest, which I don't think I really said this to anybody. I was never gonna put out an album again. My idea at one point was to just release music individually because I got a better metric. Again, this is before I understood how botting or any of that shit was working. But I was like, when I put out a song individually, I get this kind of response because it's like football versus Congress, where it's like everything is happening in front of me with refs and everything, where like people could see the song come out. Everybody has to agree. The Highs and Lows, this is one of them records. This is an all-time record. This is an important song. And when I put out a body of work, everybody doesn't necessarily have the time to listen to it. So the conversation is sometimes louder than the music. So let me hyper focus on these songs to make them as good as they possibly can be. Like, I'm really, really proud of all the songs I released in between that time, and all the collaborations that I got to do with artists. But my idea was like, I'm gonna just work everything that I can into a song by song. I had a song called 3,333 that was like the perfect like description of what it means to really love being on stage. Like, what it means to be an artist that went from performing for 17 people at 21 plus shows where they had to put the X's on my hands because I was a minor. I had to leave by a certain time. I could only drink Shirley Temples in that bitch. Like, to being a person that's performed in front of 52,000 people, 90,000 people, done it all, and what it means to me as opposed to the context that fans or media sees it in. And I got to really like ruminate on that idea and rap it better than anybody else has ever rapped it, and then get the artwork done by the perfect person to represent that artwork. And
that came out the year after Highs and Lows, right?
Yeah, that was 2024, I think. Yeah.
I pulled it up here. What that artwork? Well, who is that artist?
Say her name. Can you see it?
No, I can't see it.
The artist is Kinsley Bennett. That's my daughter, my 9-year-old.
Wow.
My 10-year-old, sorry.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've worked with artists that, have done Venice Biennale. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've worked with every form of artist. My daughter is an important artist, and I got to do it and contextualize it the way that I wanted to. And I think it probably wasn't until like 2023, like maybe after the Highs and the Lows, or maybe after the next one, that I was like, okay, I am going to uniformly put it into one project and kind of do it this way as opposed to like sparsing it out, that I like really kicked it into overdrive. But like, there was a long point where I was just like, I like putting out music one at a time because then people can really take it in. Like, I think it's gonna take a long time for people to digest Starline. Like, even the people that love it, there's people that told me that they love it, that it's their favorite project by me. And I still think that they need more time to live with it. Just like I'm still figuring out stuff from the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've got to take time with great art.
Absolutely. There's lines from records I've listened to 1,000 times that I was misunderstanding that I'm just getting. You know what I mean? I love that. I love that about art and hip hop.
It's just so many layers to the way that the world works. And one thing that I was thinking about just the other day is like, I'm at the age now, I'm 32. Some of the people I went to high school with are like 35, 36. Like, they are at the age where you legally could be president. I don't know if there's going to be any more presidents because folks just said he was finna be president for 30 more times. But like, just saying, like, we at the age of being decision makers and world leaders, and like just starting to understand how many things, not to sound like a complainer, but how many things are wrong with the world and how many things are that way by design is like
1,000%.
But it's just crazy because it's like, where do we even start? You know?
Listen, you know me. I've been telling y'all, stop playing with these white supremacists and these crackers and acting like it's smooth. They not on your side, and they don't want to see you grow. 100%. And they don't want to see you shine, and they don't want to see you at the table. So stop acting like it's sweet and there's some like middle ground that we gonna find, you know what I'm saying, just because you don't love the left person as much as you should, you gonna fuck around with these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Now everybody getting a taste of what that real shit is. And our parents went through this shit. Our grandparents went through this shit,
100%.
which is why black people, so many of them, as much as you don't love one side, you not playing with the other side, full stop.
Nah, yeah, it's about to just be one side and the motherfucking second. Like, I think it's reaching that level.
Listen, they gonna try it.
Yeah.
They gonna try it.
Yeah.
3,333. Artwork.
By Kinsley Bennett, Kinsley May.
And articulating one more time what this 3,333 means. Why the number?
Yeah. So I made this song because I had a show coming up that I had been booked for. It's like it's hard to describe for people that don't understand all the different kinds of shows that artists play. But one kind of show that you might play is like a state fair, right? And at those state fairs, it's individual concerts each night and individually ticketed shows. And so people will go to the fair, but they have to buy a separate additional ticket to come to the show. And basically, I got a call like from my agents that was like, yo, we need to pull out of this show because they've only sold 3,333 tickets. And the venue holds 14,000 people. And we don't want people to be able to use this as like a thing to say, oh, Chance isn't selling tickets or to be mad at you or whatever. And I considered it maybe for 10 seconds, but then I remembered that like, I really love being on stage, like, and people love seeing me on stage. And so there's a disconnect, I think, sometimes where people think that the stage is there to sell tickets, but it's like the stage is there for an artist. And so I have this spot and I'm not finna make up a reason why I can't play the show. I'm finna play the show for the people I want to play the show for. And obviously we ended up selling more tickets over the course of that time.
Walk-ups and all this other stuff.
But it was like, it was a thing where like I really wanted to articulate that feeling because I know there's a lot of artists that probably go through that probably get pressured like, oh, this single isn't going to do enough streams, so you shouldn't put it out. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I am an artist. Like, my whole purpose is to publish music and to perform it. And so I made that song the same fucking day in New York while we were doing it. Like, back when I was doing the listening parties, we would go to different cities. So I was in New York, I got the call, and the show was like, I think in 2 weeks or a week later. And I recorded the song. I was like, let's put this out right now. And we shot the video at the Minnesota State Fair, and it's just like another beautiful moment. Like I was just saying, documentation. Like I existed. Like if somebody's watching this video 50 years from now, like I really lived, and my music probably tells the clearest story of who I am.
Chance, question.
Yeah.
How easy is rapping for you?
That's a great question.
How easy is this rap thing now?
I was gonna say it's really, really easy, but that's still not true. Like, I think I'm blessed with like experience.
Okay.
And I mean that in so many different ways, like experience in terms of like, I've been rapping since I was 13, like getting on a stage, going to studios, like doing the whole thing since I was a child. But also experience in terms of like what I've lived through, what I've seen, it tells a compelling story. So I have great subject matter to pull from. But the actual practice of writing is something that like I have to like reintroduce as a discipline all the time. Because when I was a kid, we used to go to these after school programs and do writing prompts. And like literally I was in 2 different poetry programs that birthed all the like my generation of Chicago, Vic Mensa, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. No Name, Saba, Lucky, Mick Jenkins.
Mick Jenkins' last project's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yo, No Name about to drop something new. You know,
these are my classmates.
I like that No Name.
You got to know that we all came from 1 or 2 places, either wordplay or Lyricist Loft, which was the one that most of us went to. But we all grew up looking at writing as a craft and a trade, and like we were already artists. We weren't artists in training. Like we, as kids, we already felt like we were artists. So they have, I think what I say about all my peers in that space, they have much greater discipline with writing and with continuing. Like Saba's dropped like fucking 4 projects in the past couple of years, and they're all amazing. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's because, and I haven't said this also, can I just thank Saba, because I've said it quite a few times that Alja and Vic were doing writing prompts with me, but Saba has this thing called 16's Chapel, where it's like him and Mick and John Doe, and a bunch of just like rappers like that get on a Zoom call, and we're on Sundays for like 4 to 6 hours just doing writing prompts.
What?
And there'll be 2 producers in the chat or in the Zoom that like take 16 minutes to make a beat, and we take 16 minutes to write a verse to whatever beat they had just made. And we just go back and forth. And like, if I didn't have that space to be in, which Saba curated, and it's a bunch of us all together, but like, I still got to say, Saba, like, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that put me in my bag.
That's amazing. Y'all in there in the dojo trying to make
You know
sure that steel sharp and steel, and y'all great. This Project Starline, everybody should be going to study up and have fun with it and listen up and ride to it and all the things with it. What have you learned on your journey over the last 6 years, doing a festival in Ghana, spending time in Jamaica, the connection and relationship between that black star and the flag of Jamaica and the flag of Ghana, and just even culturally connected, obviously the transatlantic slave trade, but even deeper than that, you know, are the some of the traditions and things that remain on both sides of the Atlantic for us as black people. What have you learned about culture, and what have you learned about people's willingness or lack of desire to reconnect?
Damn, that's such a good question. Yeah, I feel like the lack of wanting to reconnect that I be seeing sometimes on the internet, like, sometimes that be feeling a little CIA to me.
That's real body.
That feels real body, real paid media, real like
fake. You're not really a black person behind that.
It's incensing, like a weird separation and delineation. Like, I'm extremely proud of my black roots as somebody that is a descendant of slaves and sharecroppers and people that experienced redlining and Jim Crow. But I also recognize that there is a global black experience that, whether it's on a spectrum of oppression or not, is not up to me. But I don't celebrate my my captors in my identity. Like, I don't need to be so thirsty to be American, you know what I'm saying, to celebrate my blackness. Like, I know the history of my people in this space, but, and not to even get too deep into the FBA and all that stuff, like, in reality, like, what I learned from traveling is that our histories of resistance and collaboration is so much more recent than we think it is. Like, I grew up in the era where they made all the pictures of Martin Luther King black and white, so we felt like that shit was 1,000 years ago. So we just had to, like, at my age group, learn to understand the recency of the 50s and 60s and how many things were in place prior to that and that got put in place afterwards to slow some of the progression of black folks in the country. But globally, we have no fucking clue. We don't know. Like, I didn't know. In my mind, Nigeria existed since the 1700s, but all of these countries were freed from colonialism post the civil rights movement. You know what I'm saying? Outside of Ghana. But like the progression that happened in Ghana is partially because Kwame Nkrumah went and studied at a HBCU. There's multiple presidencies that happened on the continent that were only able to take place because of collaboration from other African countries that have freed themselves from colonialism. So this working together and seeing our plight and each other's plight is like something that's historically always worked for progress, but also is something that's very, very recent. And a lot of the atrocities that I understand us to have gone through, the ones that I keep learning about, again, are just more and more recent than I thought. So I feel like me learning about Marcus Garvey being, you know, the founder of a shipping and trading company and having ocean liner ships in his name, that's the first time I'm hearing about black people and ships. And a long time ago, that's a good thing. That's not like slavery. You know what I'm saying? Like contextually, we don't always get to see ourselves as, you know, seafaring, like in in the people that are choosing our own destiny is the best way I could probably put it. Like, and I just think I learned all of that stuff from traveling and feeling in control of where I was going, and I want to like continue that. So I think these songs represent it well, but also I think it's a continued effort. The Starline Festival. Wow. Like it's like something that's like, I don't even think about it every day. But once I think about it and I just transform myself back to that space, it's like, that's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And I know that I had a hand in it. Like, I feel like I'm of the lineage of, you know what I'm saying, the Festival of Algiers or the, you know, any like great convening of Black minds and like in solidarity, celebrating, but also meeting. You know what I'm saying? Like that's in the Black radical tradition. Yeah. And I felt like that was a moment where like historically people will look back and be like, oh, a lot of shit birthed out of this time.
That's right. There's a song on the album I love with BJ Chicago Kid called The Negro Problem, which is if for people who don't know, after the Civil War and the freeing, air quote, freeing of slaves, there was this idea of the problem befalling the Black population was the Negro problem.
Yeah.
Which, you know, W.E.B. Du Bois and others went on to study and elaborated on it and was like, it's not Black folks' problem.
Yeah.
It's America's problem.
Facts.
And because we're American and we're victims of the behavior of white supremacy and racism. So it's not just the Negro problem.
Yeah.
It's America's problem.
Yeah.
But you delve into that in this song very nicely.
Yeah. I feel like I never wanted this album to feel like Preach or anything, and I like that it came out in a way where it's like things are sparsely introduced, but this is probably like the most like in your face, I think, record on there where I'm like, and I think I'm raising a bunch of different issues in like a good way. Like, I think there's the adultification of the kids, right? Yeah. Like from the very first lines of that song, I'm introducing the experience of 13-year-old Black males in America right now, what that feels like to wake up and be a man already to America. And then I think one of the things that I really don't get to touch on very often, but like an issue that befalls us that's also like still debated on is corporal punishment as parents, right? Like, we all grew up getting whoopings. I'm sure you got whoopings. I'm sorry to just guess that, but I'm sure you did. I'm sure most of us grew up getting whoopings, but we don't all necessarily know its ties to slavery and how we've been influenced to treat our children and view our children as Black folks. And so once we get to the violence that's experienced or perpetrated by young folks against each other in our community, we don't realize that we teach violence at a young age, even from the people that love each other. And so it's all of these different studies, all of these different issues that sound uniquely Black, but anybody listening to them, y'all got fucked up hospitals. Because if we got fucked up hospitals, then America's got fucked up hospitals. We got fucked up schools, so y'all got fucked up schools. Like, there's a gun problem with us, then I'm sure there's a gun problem in white America too, right? Yeah. So it's like it's introducing this like a very simplified like version of intersectionality and understanding where we all sit on the spectrum, but also reminding you that a lot of times our issues get, you know, waved off as just a Negro problem. Negro. That's something that y'all got going on. But
no, I love this record.
Yeah. Shout out to Anita Baker.
How hard was it to get that sample cleared?
Relatively easy. She's been a supporter of mine for a while. We connected because it doesn't matter why we connected, but she's been a big supporter of me for a long time. And she was just at our Vegas show. She came out and saw us. Yeah.
Yeah. That's yo. Do you ever trip? You're like, yo, it's been almost what, 9 years since Coloring Book? 9?
Yeah. It'll be 10. Next year is the 10-year anniversary. Wow.
And you won what, 3 Grammys?
3 Grammys. Yep. 3 of them thing.
How when you look back from then to now?
Yeah.
Are you love how things played out? Do you know, like, what's the vibes? Do the Grammys mean the same thing to you anymore? I mean, you did this on a streaming project only at the time, which was air quote controversial.
Yeah, I mean, streaming is still controversial. But I think it made me it opened doors. I became the first independent artist to win a Grammy.
There you go.
And I think if you look at folks, Brent Faiyaz, there's so many people that are independent megastars now. And so I think like it opened doors for a lot of things, a lot of people. And for me, I still think of it as like probably the greatest for me, not for everybody, because like, you know, everybody's got their things. But like for me, that's the greatest validation and the largest platform for music. Because I think there's some people that's like, you grow up. I think most people that become rappers, not everybody, but most people that grow up to become rappers, they know they want to be a rapper when they're a kid, right? Mm-hmm. And so you watch rappers that's already adults do certain things that you say, I'll know I made it when I do this. Like I want to be on the Grammys for me, it was the Grammys, SNL, stuff like that. That's like what I saw my favorite rappers. Mm-hmm. It was like Kanye, Common, Lupe do stuff like that. But other people, it might be, I want to get a clothing line. Some people, it might be, I want a #1 single or diamond record or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But for me, it was like, I loved watching the Grammys with my mom on Sunday nights. And so I always wanted to perform at the Grammys and win. And my life drastically changed after I won the Grammys in terms of the access I was given, in terms of how many people heard the project. Like, you got to also realize this, like, Coloring Book was big, you know what I'm saying? But, like, that same year, like, Drake and Kanye both dropped huge albums, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And there's, like, a lot of other music just out, period. And once you win on that Grammy night, you know, or even beyond winning, just get nominated. So many people that never even heard your name before become interested and want to know, like, why you got nominated, what the music is about. And so, like, to me, it's still the platform itself to have the Recording Academy of Arts and Sciences, these people that are, you know, supposedly, I would guess, like, the top musicians and industry adjacent people all deciding like, yes, this was excellent. That's what they base it off of.
But it's you're being graded by professionals. Yeah. Other professionals in your area of expertise.
On a certain basis. Like, it's supposedly, it should not matter or ever be able to be discussed how many units something sold, right, or how many tours this person went on, or any of that stuff. It has to be graded specifically on the content of the music.
And a lot of people get mad at the Grammys, and I think rightfully so, because it's a voting population that gets things wrong. Yeah. I mean, welcome to voting, right?
Facts.
Shit gets
fucked democracy, up baby.
Shit gets fucked up sometimes. But like, you know, in the hip hop space, I know the people that are voting in that space are professionals in that space. Yeah. And if you're a professional in that space and upset about how it's playing out, but you're not voting, welcome to voting. If you're
that's the real thing of it, is that people don't vote. So it's like, I think it's like 13,000 voting members, and then they say like less than 40 people actually turn in, 40% of those people ever even turn in their ballots. So, and then a large percentage of it is musicians, like people that have had an album that have submitted before. Your favorite artist is a voter, but ask them if they've ever submitted a Grammy ballot. Like, you got to find your login and go through 3 steps of verification, all that shit. Like, people don't do it. I honestly, I'm going to say it, I ain't vote for myself. I lost track of time. Like, I said I would, but I forgot to. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a bit of a hassle. But I think, like, at the end of the day, if you get in that space, if you get recognized on that stage, it does so much for, you know, the legwork for your album moving to being into discussions. Like how we talked about earlier in terms of media, it's like everybody covers the Grammys. That's right. You know what I'm saying? And everybody trusts the Grammys to know what's the most important music that's happening. So if you do get that nomination, I think it's like something it's a big deal. To me, it's still a big deal that I won. Right. You know what I'm saying?
I love that for you. I love that. Thanks for doing this, man.